You can't be serious, Captain! I'm soaked in spaghetti! Look at my clothes!
Such was the fate of your pants. I apologize for my man threatening.
The Massacre Soldier Killer.
Hello guys, Mr. Shocker came back here once again. It's a short time video. The biggest flaw, or what led to the downfall of Basil, the Voodoo Man Hawkins, and recently in chapter 1029. And I looked around and see other people talk about the exact same subject, and apparently no one can really explain what actually happened. It's just he lost, and oh, this is what happens when I heard like some other stuff, but truly, the only reason why Basil Hawkins lost the killer, the only reason why Basil Hawkins ended up going down is quite a simple reason. The reason is Basil Hawkins never bet against himself. Every time Basil Hawkins was using them tarot cards, their main motive for using the tarot cards was just based on his survival and the actions of others. That is it. He pretty much just lived a portion of his life not really controlling what happens to him at all. He just always put his faith in the cards and not himself. Look at the first time in Sabaody. The reason why he didn't break his neck to fight Kizaru, because the chances of the card, Kizaru wasn't going to do anything and he wasn't here for them. The same thing with that line with Kid. Oh, why betray Kid? Why flip-flop? Because when you're betting your odds against a person like Kaido, just betting odds of your survival against Kaido, then I think it'd be the best choice of action to join Kaido. But somebody said against Hawkins, it proves that, against Killer, it proves that fate is wrong and this and that. No. Against Killer, the only thing it managed to prove is one simple thing, and that is, this is what happens when you don't believe in yourself. You look at Killer, you look at everybody else, like especially Killer and Kid. Killer and Kid 100% believe that they can actually beat Big Mom. Killer believed that he can beat Hawkins. Everybody else from Luffy to the rest of the Stray Hats believed they could beat somebody. But I guess with Basil Hawkins, that was not the case. Basil Hawkins put more faith in the cards than himself. And other people are like, oh, this is what happened when you place bets and everything like that. No. Because if Basil Hawkins was smart, he would have looked at the chance of him winning the battle against Killer. But it was never about winning against Killer. It was just about him surviving. And it's kind of what happens when you put yourself into a safe spot and don't believe in your own abilities and just go off of what you see, pretty much. Oh, well, it seems like the odds. That's the thing. Even if the Beast Pirates actually win, it doesn't mean that Hawkins is wrong. Because Hawkins never did bet on himself. He never did bet whether he could beat Killer or not. He never did bet if Big Mom or the kid in Law can beat Big Mom. And this is what happens when you don't believe in yourself. This is the product of what happens. What happens is you lose. And somebody said, oh, the tower card, it means that definitively Luffy's going to win. Not really, because you look at the context. Hawkins was like, there's no way Kid can win. If there was no way Killer can win, there's no way this and that. It was never referring to Luffy versus Kaido. The tower card was referring to Killer and Kid. That was referring to similar to how people going to still try to use, oh, Hawkins said that Luffy had a 1% chance of surviving in a month, but somehow he's right about that but wrong about everything else. No, he was wrong about him actually being able to win. He never did bet against himself. He always placed his bets on other people and what they would do, not about what he would do. The fact that he actually needed to ask the cards, oh, the straw man would be survived. What do you mean be revived? You control the devil fruit. What are you talking about? Or you could just turn yourself into a scarecrow. Hawkins lost because Hawkins lost to himself. This is what happens when you always bet on other people's actions and not your own. Because he bet, oh, well, what is a better chance? Kaido defeating us or me surviving, fighting Kaido? And he bet against, he placed his bets on Kaido. And he was right, because Kaido did beat Kid and Killer. So he wasn't wrong about that. He wasn't wrong in Sabaody with Kizaru, because Kizaru wasn't here to capture them in the first place. Just because an admiral showed up does not mean everybody's going to jail. Now, from that same merit, if Aki Inu would have showed up, that would have been a different ordeal entirely. I can admit that. Aki Inu's taking everybody, and he doesn't like to take prisoners either, so there was no way they're going to be able to escape that in the first place. But since Kizaru was there, he bet his out against Kizaru, and what did you get? Kizaru was just there for the Stray Hats. It was the only reason he was there in the first place, because Luffy punched the Celestial Dragon. So he had nothing to worry about. So So in my opinion, the biggest flaw of Basil Hawkins comes down to that Basil Hawkins never did place the odds on him winning. He never did truly believe in his own abilities. He just did it. He did it at all. Because there's at least 10 different other things he could have done to actually try to beat Killer. Like, why did he let Killer get that close to him? Why he depend on the straw man? He got all these voodoo and swords and type of stuff, and you depend on reviving the straw man? Like, you can't fight him with your own hands? Like, sure, he is missing an arm, but come on, Johnny. Come on. Just because, like we've seen people fight one arm before. We've seen people get half of their brains splattered all across the pavement and keep going. And it comes down to what if, in those last final moments, Hawkins did not depend on the cards. What Hawkins would have won? What Hawkins would have had a good chance at beating Killer just with one hand? Because we don't even know everything that Hawkins' Devil Fruit can actually do. We know it can create straw. We know that he can turn himself into a scarecrow. And that's pretty much it. He can create a voodoo straw man. And we don't know what the direct correlation between Hawkins and his tarot cards are. Because it seems like he used it to make more decisions on play based on his survival than anything else. Unlike Luffy, unlike Kid, unlike everybody else, the odds of them winning didn't matter. Because they truly believed in their abilities. We look at a guy like Hawkins. Hawkins was always on fate. He never did bet against himself. He didn't put his entire life on the odds. He didn't think about surviving. Because I'm pretty sure if he would have used that last tarot card to bet against himself beating Killer, he would have got distracted and Killer would never, the fight would have never ended that early, in my opinion. Maybe I'm the one who's delusional here. But when you look at it, Killer was coming straight for him. And then the next thing you know, Hawkins break his neck to look at the cards. Like if you wasn't focused on the straw man, you would have never lost. I still like Hawkins, and I like this flaw in Hawkins' character. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people say he's flawed or try to say he's trash, in which, oh, Killer can finally get respect now because we seen him do something. We haven't seen Shanks do nothing. We haven't seen a lot of characters do nothing like Dragon, but somehow Dragon's one of the strongest people. Somehow Shanks is, oh my gosh, Shanks is top tier. He's the top of the verse. We haven't seen him do anything. But when it comes to the Supernovas, you can play that game of, well, since we haven't seen them do anything, they gotta be extra weak. Alright then, let's play that game. Let's play that game. Alright then. And that's pretty much my entire thoughts on what led to the defeats of Hawkins in this video. But I will let them make a quick correction I made in that Doflamingo video. They arrested Doflamingo because he was no longer a warlord, and Luffy just claimed up and Fujitoro just claimed to finish the job. But Crocodile still stands. Crocodile was a warlord and they took him to jail. I'd like to correct that. But overall, I enjoyed the fight. I enjoyed everything about it. And what a kid in Law's chance in beating Big Mom is unknown to me, because there's a high chance that they can actually lose here. A very high chance. A very high chance. Because the tower card was not reflective of the alliance. Like seriously, like people like to look at things without any type of context. When Basil Hawkins pulled that last card, when Basil Hawkins pulled the tower, it wasn't about the alliance, it wasn't about anybody else. It was about purely reviving the straw man, meaning that 1% Luffy is still going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to still happen. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's still going to happen. And this is what happens when you don't bet against yourself. Because everybody else, 100% believe in themselves, or everybody else is just like, yeah, what I say is going to happen is going to happen. But you look at Hawkins, it was always about the cards. It was always about the cards. That's what it was always about. So he should have bet him himself. He should have asked what would be the fate of this battle instead of revive the straw man. That was kind of idiotic. But hey, you live and you learn. And it looks like Hawkins could be dead, but I don't think he's dead. Cause like the way Killer cut him. Like he cut him like straight up and down, like straight up the middle. Like his chin got sliced up and everything. Now, I'm not some type of specialist here, but I'm pretty sure, Johnny, I could be wrong about this. If you get cut like that, depending how deep the cut is whether killer cut his heart or something like that, because Hawkins was done. So I hope one day we get to figure out how this killer actually fight, because he charges at somebody and he flips upside down and somehow he cuts somebody, and it's not really explained how killer fights at all. And but hey, it is what it is. No matter what I say in this video, no one's gonna watch, and everybody can go back to the usual. Well, because we haven't seen it on screen. Then why do you think Shanks beat Kyle and we haven't seen that on screen? There's a bunch of grown idiots. It's sad. When there's a bunch of kids, it's reasonable. When there's a bunch of grown adults, that's sickened me. It really does. There's no excuse to that. But overall, that's been my thoughts and opinions on what the biggest flaw of Basil Hawkins is, and what led to his ultimate defeat. It is quite sad that our boy Hawkins had to go down like that. But hey, he tried his best. It's been me, Shop King. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and come on, Law. Peace.